On this episode of Matt Covers Tech, we take a look at the brand new BTECH BF-F8HP Pro. That's a lot of B's. And that's next. So let's jump right into this. This is the BTECH/Baofeng BF-F8HP Pro. It is brand new for 2024. It was released or announced on October 1st of this year. It's a tri-band radio, meaning it can transmit on 70 centimeters, 1.25 meters, and 2 meters. It can also receive airband, FM broadcast, and features GPS location sharing. Baofeng claims 8 watts output on 70 centimeters and 2 meters, and 5 watts output on the 1.25 meter band. So let's test that out. Give me 1 second, and we'll get set up. And we're back. Here we have my setup for testing power. This is my power meter, which I have going into a 10 watt 40 dB attenuator, into another 10 dB attenuator, into a 5 watt dummy load, because I do this because my dummy load is so small. I don't want to blow it out, and I don't know what this thing is capable of yet. So let's turn on my power meter. And we'll set it for measuring. Here we go. So you should be able to see that, I think, if I'm looking at this correctly. Yes. So we're going to turn this on.
Channel mode.
Okay, right now it's on 70 centimeter. Let's go to 2 meter to start.
1.
All right, 2 meter. And yeah, this radio actually comes with the national calling frequencies pre-programmed in, which is kind of cool. So you could possibly take it out of the box and communicate via simplex, but I don't know if you would do that. In any case, you can see it says 2 meter calling. And let's see what kind of power output we get. Let me just make sure that's visible. There we go. That says 11.3. So on 2 meters, it is putting out 11 watts. That is mighty impressive. They said 8. And we're getting 11. All right, let's do
2, 3.
70 centimeter. We'll say 1.25 for the last. So this is 70 centimeter, and this is all high power. Just bring it up. You can 70 centimeter, just so you can know I'm telling the truth. Here we go. On 70 centimeters, it's putting out 9 watts. 9 watts. And again, it said 8. we're getting 11 on VHF, 9 on UHF. Now let's look at the 1.25 meter band and see what we get there.
2.
So you can say 1.25. Take a look. 5.7. 5.6. So a little bit over 5 watts, moving towards 6 watts. Yeah, this thing is putting out more power than what they said it would. So that's impressive. Let's take a look at what you get when you buy the BF-F8 HP Pro. Now, this does not come with it. This is a BNC adapter that I usually put on myself because that's what most of my antennas are. We'll set that aside just so there's no confusion. So, of course, you get the radio itself. Give you a look around. You get... Make sure this is off. A 25 milliamp hour battery. Oh, there we go. It was a little stiff there. There you go. 25 milliamp hour battery. That does include a USB-C charging port on the back. Oh. All right. You receive a cradle charger. You receive a USB-C charging cable, but no charger, just the charging cable. You receive a belt clip and a wrist strap. You also get 2 antennas, both of them rubber duck style. One they claim is for UHF, VHF. The other they say is wideband. I don't know how much stock I put in that. The antennas that I use that are for UHF, VHF, yes, they can be short rubber duckies, but for wideband stuff, I've never seen one this short. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but it's just not been my experience. And you get an in-ear. And finally, they do include a manual. And a note on the manual that it is actually pretty good. I was able to read through it without too much trouble. The translations were good. It is fairly robust in describing all of the features, how to activate them, and things along those lines. So that's extremely nice to have. I found out most of what I needed to just by reading the manual. And that is not usually the case with Baofeng radios. At least it's not been my experience. I always have to go online. Now, one thing you'll notice about the BF-F8HP is that it does not include something that is usually ubiquitous, and that is the flashlight. There is no flashlight. Um, Much like the GM30 Plus by Radioddity, which is a GMRS radio that also features GPS location sharing, the light has been replaced by a GPS receiver. So that is why there is no flashlight. To me, that's not a deal breaker. I rarely use the flashlight on my radios. I'm not saying it's a stupid thing to have. I just don't often use them. What I do have with me often is this little stream light. I am rarely without this. It is so small, so easy to carry around. I've had it since 2015, 2016. It still works. It has been through the laundry at least twice, definitely more than that, but at least twice, and it's still ticking. I keep it in my pocket. All I have to do is every so often open it up and change out the one AAA battery that it takes. And I don't even put expensive batteries in there. And boy, this thing has just worked and worked and worked. So if you're really upset about not having a flashlight on your radio, I'll have a link for this, an affiliate link for this in the video description. Pick up one of these. They're absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to put it right back in my pocket where I got it from. So the GPS capability is for location sharing among a preset list of contacts that you enter in the radio. And you do that beforehand, or whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to go out and do, you set up those contacts ahead of time. For however many are in your group, you all register as a contact, and that way you're able to share locations with each other. Now, I can see this coming in handy if you were part of a SAR or a search and rescue team. Maybe you're just hiking with a group, but this will allow you to find those other members of your group via GPS, provided they have their radio on their person and it's powered on, of course. Included in this radio is the addition of zones, which I know a lot of people are going to appreciate. Zones allow you to group frequencies in a way that makes sense to you. Whatever purpose you may have for grouping channels, frequencies together, that's what it's for. Maybe you want to group geographical repeaters together into one zone. Maybe you want to group, like I had mentioned before, search and rescue. Maybe you have multiple teams and they're all operating on different frequencies, and you want to have team 1 in zone 1 and team 2 in zone 2, whatever. The sky's the limit. But the fact is, this now includes 10 zones, and it can store 1,000 channels. So that's pretty impressive. The radio is also listed as being IP54 rated, and I believe that. That means dust-proof, splash-proof. It does not mean that you can throw the thing in a river or a bucket of water and expect it to be okay. That's not going to work. But it can take a splash and keep going without an issue. And just given the build quality, how it feels, I completely believe that. I believe that this is IP54 rated. I haven't tested it. I'm not going to test it for the purpose of this video, but I do believe that this could take a splash and still keep going. Now, the radio itself, with the stock longer antenna included, weighs just over 11 ounces. The speaker is loud and clear and only distorts a little bit at the highest volume setting. And I will say, if you buy the radio, do read the manual, because you will find out things that you won't find out just by trying to figure this out on your own. Because not everything is labeled. Like, for instance, how do you get to the weather band? Some of them, there's like a cloud. There is nothing here. You will only find out that you get to the airband by holding 0 if you read the manual.
Front approaches tonight and will cross through Monday morning.
Did I say airband? I meant weather.
High pressure returns thereafter and hold influence over
So,
the region into next weekend.
I'm in my basement right now, which, as I have mentioned before, is where radio signals go to die. And I'm still picking up the weather band here. It's cutting in and out a little bit.
With 50 degrees and the relative Thursday, sunny. Highs in the lower 60s. Thursday, 93 inches and falling. Some conditions for nearby portions of eastern Pennsylvania at 8 p.m. At Doylestown, it was clear.
Okay, that's full volume. That was full volume. And you could hear it started to clip a little bit. But up to that point, it's a pretty good sounding speaker. I really have no complaints about that. Again, the manual is your friend because you'll find out about how to turn on weather radio, how to turn GPS on and off. Hint, you hold down the AB button for a second and that turns the GPS on and off. If you're trying to save battery, that might be important. In any case, that's just a couple examples. If you do decide to buy this radio, read the manual. It's your friend. The build quality, very, very solid. I'm very happy with it. It's much more solid than a typical UV5R. Like, you just pick it up and you can feel it immediately. I don't know if it's thicker plastic or what, but the battery is nice and secure. There's no rattling or anything like that. The buttons have a real nice tactile feedback to them. It feels good, and I do believe that it's more robust than a typical UV5R. Now, it would probably even surpass that of the UV9R Pro that I recently featured on my channel, but they might be equal. This just has a lot more features available to it than the UV9R Pro does. Of course, it does cost more than the UV9R Pro does. The antennas that come with the radio, honestly, nothing to get excited about. They claim one of them is for UHF-VHF and that the other is for wideband. Your guess is as good as mine. They might be labeled on here. Even if they are, I really don't put much stock in that. UHF-VHF antennas that perform well look more like the Nagoya and, Signal Stick. Tri-band antennas, Diamond makes some. I would say you're going to always be better off with an aftermarket antenna than anything that is packed in with the radio. Now, one last thing about this radio that is, I think, really important is that Baofeng has said that they plan on making firmware updates for this. Most of the UV5Rs, you get what you get, you don't get upset, and that's all that you get. And they don't really get upgraded all that much, but they're saying that these BF-F8HP Pros, they're going to have firmware updates in the future. So I'm actually looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be great. So in any case, that is the brand new BTECH BF-F8HP Pro. If you would like to pick up one of your own, I will have an affiliate link in the video description. And frankly, I would really recommend this model. I kind of thought I was done with Baofeng, but no, not after this. I am really, really impressed with this thing. And I hope more people do get them because, frankly, after everything that's happened, the more people that have their license and are on the radio, the better. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to stop back again soon. This is W3MBT, Matt, and remember, when it comes to tech, I've got you covered.